Welcome to An Author Dissects a Narrative with your host, Husna Haze. In this captivating series, we will unravel the intricate tapestries of your favorite movies, TV shows, games, books, and beyond. Prepare to embark on a journey of analysis and exploration as we uncover the hidden gems and profound themes within these beloved narratives. Remember to show your support by hitting the like button and subscribing. For a regular dose of insightful content, let's delve into the realms of storytelling together. Welcome back to the Deconstructed Universe. That's right, we're back with episode 4 of Dune Prophecy. Now, this is a bit late, but in my defense, I've been so busy writing and, I've been watching a lot of new K-dramas, and I think that I might dabble into, a deconstructed universe and bring in some K-dramas into this because I've been hooked on The Light Shop. It was snatching my existence. And also I revisited King Eternal Monarch. I've watched that thing 3-4 times. So yeah, I've just been in the K universe, but now I'm back. And also it just worked out better because last week I couldn't do everything that I wanted to do. And then this week also episode 5 drops too, so you'll get 2 episodes this week. So yeah, sorry about that guys, but we're back. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. It'll really help in the algorithm and it'll really help, with building this community. Now, we're kicking this right off with the episode, which I thought was just amazing. I just loved that, basically Valia was making plans and she was so sure of herself. She was sure in her plans of okay, I've got a Bene Gesserit sister in the rebellion, and this Atreides guy survived. I'm here with my family. She went back to the Harkonnens and she was just let them go forward with the assassination attempt on the Emperor and I'll stop it in full view of all the aristocrats. But to do that, she had to put her nephew into the High Council with the Great Houses. And I just love that fact that we saw a lot more of the Great Houses, simply because I just feel in Dune, we talk about the Great Houses, we hear about the Great Houses, but we've never actually seen the other Great Houses, It's just kind of in passing. And I just felt to just build more characters and more houses within this universe is really great, because when we refer to the Great Houses, we literally just kind of section it off into the guild, the Spacing Guild, the Harkonnens, we've got the Atreides, we've got, the Perinos, and then we've got a few of the other characters that are around these families, and then we've got them as well, and then the Bene Gesserit. And I just feel it was really great to see a few of the other houses in more detail and how the politics works and everything. So yeah, I really enjoyed that. We also saw that back at the Bene Gesserit Sisterhood school, we saw that all the girls have a nightmare, all the students have a nightmare, and it's the same nightmare. And we saw that Tula is, basically worried, and we see that there's a lot of friction with, Valia's supporters and everybody who basically stands behind Valia, and the way Tula is basically managing everything. So we saw that she's having like a lot of frictions with Valia's spies around. We saw that she, was really interested in getting to the bottom of why these nightmares hit everybody. at the same time. We also saw a lot more of House Corino. Now, I thought that Constantine was a bastard, but I think he might be an illegitimate bastard that has the name Corino. Maybe he's been legitimized or something like that. I don't know where that stands. We'll see. I haven't watched episode 5 as of now. I'm gonna watch it after this. But we saw a lot more of Constantine and his relationship with his father and the Queen. We saw a lot more of Desmond Hart. I feel like Desmond Hart is a bit crazy, but at the same time, he's very much vulnerable. This power that he has is giving him a lot of pain and a lot of difficulties in maneuvering, and he keeps saying that he's do you know what, I'm gonna put out a bit of foreshadowing here. He keeps saying that he is basically loyal to the Imperium. He says the Imperium. He doesn't say House Corino. So I think that the downfall of Desmond Hart is going to come about with him wanting to do what's best for the Imperium and not House Corino, and that's how Chula's going to get like an edge in and regain her spot right next to the crown. Now, it was also great to see in this episode that basically all the great houses basically rely on the Bene Gesserit. I think that this, series is really great to just kind of build on the universe. It doesn't really impact the storylines, in the books or in future. But bottom line is, I feel like the creators have a lot of free reign to do what they want to do and build the stories the way they want to build them, which is both an advantage and a disadvantage to them, because I just can't see how this is going to go into season 2. But at the same time, I'm very interested and very interested in this story. But at the same time, like, the Bene Gesserit have a lot of power, and I'm not very comfortable with the amount of power that they have, just because, like, they're not a great organization. I'm just gonna throw it right out there. They're, like, great to admire and everything, but they're not an organization you'd want politically just to have their hands in the pot of everything. It's like, there's got to be friction, and that friction is represented by Desmond Hart. But without Desmond Hart, and I don't know what's going to happen at the end of this season or anything like that, but without Desmond Hart, you don't have that friction. You don't have that pull against the Bene Gesserit. Do you know what I mean? Other than that, I love to see that the Queen had a conversation with Desmond Hart, and she was like, listen, I know you see the Bene Gesserit for what they are, and the king, he needs some the emperor needs some pushing. He needs to be pushed into the right direction. Like, I'm the one that leaked the information, and I'm just building this up, and we need to basically show him that he doesn't need the Bene Gesserit, and that he has enemies out here that are gunning for us, and we need to make this strong. So I love to see the political dynamics going on in the episode, because the Bene Gesserit are planning, Desmond Hart and the Queen are planning, the great houses are planning, and here we go, the Emperor is just basically like, I want to be remembered, He's like, I'm just seen as somebody who just inherited the throne. It's like, yeah, my guy, that's the way the throne works. You were lucky enough not to be, offed. You just won the genetic lottery. You won the genetic lottery. You were born into privilege. You have to prove yourself. So he's just on that wavelength, and he's just like, everything's just gonna be fine, and it's really not. Everybody is plotting and planning, down to the Atreides. I forgot his name, but the Atreides guy who survived. So yeah, so he's plotting and planning. Everybody's plotting and planning, and the Emperor's just out here like, whoa. And then we see that the princess, she's very much like, I don't believe in what my father is standing for. Desmond Hart killed a kid, and I need to step up and just stand against my father and what he's standing for right now, because it's not what I believe in, it's not what he believes in, and I feel like if I go up to the High Council and just was like, this is what my father did. I'm going to force his hands, even though I'm going to hurt him. Now, I understand where she was coming from, but at the same time, she is weakening herself while she weakens her father. You talk about this stuff behind the scenes. You don't bring it to the great houses, the council, because guess what? They're going to use this to cripple you, and you have to eventually ascend the throne. Now, how are you going to ascend the throne if you're crippled and weak? You need to stand together, to the masses, and when it comes to, not agreeing with what your father is doing or what the regime is doing, you need to do all of that behind the scenes. And she pulls Constantine into her little plot, and Constantine is like, listen, I want to keep my head. That's why I thought that Constantine was illegitimate, but she referred to him as the prince when, at the end of the episode, she was looking for him. She was like, has anybody seen the prince? And Constantine did turn up, and he literally told his father, listen, I'm not staying, I just came here to wish you luck. Now, I also have a little foreshadowing thing that I think that Constantine might end up being the emperor. I don't know why. I just feel like he might end up being the emperor just because, I don't know. I'm just going to throw that out there. We'll see. So basically, we've got Valia out here. We can see that she's revisited her family, and she's also got Sister Theodosia. And Sister Theodosia, at the end, when she shape-shifted, morphed, I didn't know that Bene Gesserit had powers like this. She basically showed up as, Valia's, what was his name again? Anyway, Valia's, brother, and was like, listen, I thank you for coming here. It was really hard for you. She basically threw in there a bit of a therapy session for Valia, and I guess that scene was designed to basically empower Valia into saying this was hard for you to return to a place where you're not wanted, where you don't feel seen, where they're your own flesh and blood and they hate you, but you returned here for the good of the sisterhood. And I feel like that scene served as, a turning point for Valia moving forward. Now, we see that, the Empress, Natalia, and Desmond Hart's plot basically works out. In the middle of the night, they send out everybody to basically, the Royal Guard they send them out to basically bring everybody who is using thinking machines to heel, as in there needs to be a hard line between thinking machines. That's what they're dressing it as, when in reality it's we need to show the great houses that they cannot do what they wish, and we're gonna use this. So they sent out the guards in the middle of the night to basically round up everybody, which they did. And we also saw that Valia basically has her Bene Gesserit sisters out there working their political magic with the great houses to basically essentially ask her nephew House Harkonnen, who has nothing to win, to basically bring forth a partition to the Emperor Javico to basically say listen, we need an inquiry in what happened, because you can't be out here just offing people's sons. You just can't be wielding around your power like this to the great houses. We're threatened, and we need to put some sanctions on you, but I don't want to do it because you're gonna come after me. So we need a proxy to do it. So they choose obviously the Harkonnens because they have nothing to use, nothing to lose. So all that happens, and then we have a scene at the end where we've got the Atreides. I don't know what this Atreides guy's name is, guys. It's Kieran Atreides. It's Kieran Atreides. So we have Kieran and Inez. They have a little conversation where Inez is I have to do it even though it's gonna hurt my father. And Kieran, I guess, is okay, you do that. So there's this plot to use a thinking machine to assassinate everybody within the council, including the emperor. Now, the empress, Natalia and Desmond Hart's plot had already rounded up everybody who used thinking machines, including the thinking machine that was going to carry out the task. And so Valia didn't get her chance to stop the plot in full view of the emperor and the great houses. And her nephew was spared from bringing charges against the emperor, or accusation against the emperor, to put for an inquisition, for an inquiry, by Inez, who basically throws her dad under the bus. And then we see Desmond Hart comes in and basically saves the day. Now, this is a pretty short An Author Dissects a Narrative, a Deconstructed Universe episode, but I feel like this was a really great episode. I thoroughly enjoyed the politics going on behind this, and the next episode I'm looking forward to seeing what happens, because we've got a lot of plotting and planning, and we've got a lot of factions, and we've got a lot of different people vying for their own thing. So we see that, during that whole confrontation, Valia managed to get her hands on Desmond's blood. So now we can figure, I guess it's a pretty natural conclusion to think that in the next episode, we're going to figure out where Desmond Hart comes from, his bloodline and everything like that. We also saw that, the Emperor and, Desmond have like a little one-on-one after his little display with his power. So we see that the power comes at a great cost and pain and sacrifice to Desmond to use. So we see that the Emperor's like, listen, you don't need to use that, you can just stand by my side. And then we also saw that basically Sister Theodosia and Valia had that moment where Sister Theodosia was basically shapeshifted into Valia's brother. And then we also saw that Valia basically offed her uncle. Now, that's where the episode ended off. I give this episode solid B. It was a solid B, guys. It was a solid B. I really enjoyed it. My over-the-top moment, like the moment that stood out for me in this episode was, what was it? my moment that stood out was just like basically how Natalia and Desmond Hart basically rallied together to just get this whole plot going. Basically they cut off Valia at the knees. And then also I have to say that I hope that next episode is really great. I don't know what you guys thought about it, but yeah, it was a solid B. So let me know what you think. Like, comment, and subscribe. Leave a comment in the comment section of what moment stood out for you, and I'll catch you next time. Welcome to the end of the video, and thank you very much for making it to the end. Make sure you check out Vertigo Honor Bound by Blood, the first installment in the Vertigo book series. It is set in 2095 at the heart of the Imperial Champion regime, where Emperor Gregory Champion rules over Earth and the colonies stretching out across the solar system, where there is a virus called the Omega virus that has mutated and changed the political landscape of Earth. This is a story about factions, about coming of age, about the importance of being firm in what you believe in a world where bloodlines matter. What faction are you?